The site's astronomical alignments have been studied for over 50 years by Hugh Harleston, an engineer with unorthodox views. He believes the main axis was once filled with water for symbolic purposes. If you were standing up there on the pyramid of the moon and looking down at this huge expanse of water, it would have been stunningly awe-inspiring.
This would be much better than the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Harleston believes there's a code to be deciphered at Teotihuacan, to do with the scale and dimensions of the buildings.
You're standing in a construction right now in which you can put 16 Stonehenges. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Harleston did exhaustive surveys throughout the site and in the local surroundings. How much measuring did you do?
Oh, I did 9,000 out here in this valley.
9,000
measurements.
Harleston believes he's cracked the code used by the builders of Teotihuacan. His surveys reveal the standard unit of measure used to design the great monuments.
STU means Standard Teotihuacan Unit.
Right.
So I found out you take the French meter, this one, and you add this little piece.
Right.
This little piece is 6 centimeters. It's really 5.9.
Harleston's surveys have been carried out with impeccable professionalism, and his unit of measure reveals that a network of repeating numbers is woven into the design of Teotihuacan. He's proved conclusively that dimensions of the citadel represent the circumference of the Earth on a scale of exactly 100,000 to 1, and that the side of its main structure represents the radius of the Earth. All over the site, his measurements confirm that the builders must somehow have measured the Earth.
I don't know how they measured it. Nobody can figure it out, I believe. It's pretty tough.
And when you apply this measure to this site, everything suddenly falls into place? Is that what
Yes. I began to see it was not only east to west, north to south, it was up and down. I found that there was some reason why they were marking the mountains with elevations that fit the system. When they draw a line, they're telling you an area. When they draw an area, they're telling you a volume. When they put volume, they're telling you time.
What Harleston's saying is that there are measurements of time in the dimensions of the building, which are connected with the revolution of the Earth. Because the Earth turns at a fixed speed, we can measure distance with time. One is directly proportional to the other. This suggests a fantastically sophisticated knowledge on the part of the builders.
It does. It's high precision astronomy. But the thing about this place is the space measurements and the time measurements unify. Once you know the basic measure that repeats, you can find it in Egypt, you can find it in Stonehenge, you can find it in Tiwanaku, Bolivia, you can find it
all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah. This would then suggest a common source.
Yes.
To get closer to that mysterious source, we need to go to the oldest civilization in Mexico, at La Venta. Excavations along the Gulf of Mexico have revealed traces of a people whose works of art contradict all established theories about the growth of civilization in the Americas. They flourished 3,500 years ago. Archaeologists call them the Olmecs. We don't know what they called themselves. All that's certain is that they were a high civilization with their own writing that hasn't yet been deciphered, and that they were a civilization of sky watchers, a civilization of astronomers. The principal Olmec site at La Venta was dominated by two astronomically aligned pyramids. The site was demolished by the oil industry in the 1950s, but archaeologists were at least able to rescue its extraordinary sculptures. So far, nearly 20 of them have been discovered at La Venta and other Olmec sites. Some weigh up to 60 tons. All represent people with extremely distinctive features.
Because of an unpleasant mixture of political correctness and academic dogma, scholars have never really wanted to get to grips with the heart of the Olmec enigma. The dogma is that the Americas were peopled purely and simply by Asiatics who crossed the Bering Strait when it was a land bridge during the last ice age. The problem is that the stone faces left behind by the Olmecs aren't the faces of Asiatics. On the contrary, they show us people who are clearly and unmistakably proud and charismatic African